Watching and connected, but it's never enough. Talking with our friends about our favorite things. TV shows and movies and some random swearing. Hey! 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 This is the pretty, this is the little, this is the pretty little podcast.
Hello, all you pretty little people. This is the Pretty Little Podcast. I'm your host, Deadbeat Chad, and with me is just Jess.
Hello.
And today we are talking about something that is very near and dear to us.
It's true.
Both of us, in fact.
Surprisingly, a chick with someone with a vagina likes this shit.
And on this one, we're going to take you back a little bit.
Ooh. Okay. Set the
to a time when the future we were promised was still achievable.
Okay.
Where member berries was just slang for testicles. Because today we're talking about Jackass.
Hell yeah.
What is Jackass, Jess?
Oh, well, here, you know what? Actually, thank you for asking. Let me tell you, Jackass is an American reality slapstick comedy television series and a media franchise created by Jeff Tremaine, Spike Jonze, and Johnny Knoxville. It originally aired as a TV series of 3 short seasons on MTV between October 2000 and August 2001, with reruns extending into 2002. The series featured a compilation of pain and embarrassment-inducing stunt performances and pranks on each other and the public, with the regular cast entailing Johnny Knoxville, Bam Margera, Chris Pontius, Ryan Dunn, Steve-O, Dave England, Aaron McGeeney, Jason Weeman Acuna, and Preston Lacey.
So Jackass came about because of, there were a few factors at play here.
Mm-hmm.
One is Johnny Knoxville's failed attempt at becoming an actor.
Ugh.
2, Big Brother magazine,
Right.
which at the time was being edited by Jeff Tremaine.
Mm-hmm.
3 is Bam Margera's skate career, which was highlighted in Big Brother magazine. And 4, Spike Jonze,
Sure.
the director.
Which is always just kind of crazy how involved he is with this, because I knew him mainly from like directing music videos and
Right.
stuff. Like we have a compilation somewhere of his,
I've got
music
a
videos.
director compilation on DVD of all of his work,
Right.
as far as music videos go.
Yeah. But he is heavily involved with this.
Yeah, it's just that something that came about because of the stars were aligned. So
Yes.
Johnny Knoxville moved to California. He wanted to be an actor. He wasn't really getting anywhere with that.
Right.
At some point, he decided that he was going to start just, I guess, testing out self-defense weapons, I guess.
That tracks, honestly.
So there were early videos of him in a backyard. I don't know if it's his or his friends or his parents or whatever, but he would take things like tasers and use them on himself, or mace, cattle prods. He even went as far as to try out a bulletproof vest by shooting himself in the chest, point blank range.
It makes me so nervous, even though I know he makes it through. Fuck, dude.
Which got attention from Big Brother magazine, which I am familiar with because there was a record store when I was a teenager that I went to a lot, and they had Big Brother magazine.
Well, you were a skater boy.
I was. That helped too, but like, they didn't have new issues, but basically what they did when people came in, and you could resell shit there.
Sure.
T-shirts, CDs, movies, things like that. Mm-hmm. And magazines was one of the things that they got into. So it was a bunch of back issues that they just had kind of stacked up in the corner.
Sure.
And, I had a few issues of that. And Big Brother magazine was basically, it was like Home and Gardens magazine for anarchists is the best way I could put it, because it was it was counterculture shit, right? There were comics in there. There were articles that were really not meant to be taken seriously, which never would get made today.
No, like the Onion type things.
Right. And I mean, there were just, as extreme as they got, it got to a point where there were articles in there about how to self-delete yourself. It was not meant to be taken seriously, but it would show how you could do it.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. And they also highlighted skateboarders, things like that. Johnny Knoxville wound up being in the magazine.
Okay.
Because of his antics and
shenanigans.
Yes, because of testing out these self-defense weapons on himself, which is where he met Jeff Tremaine. Bam Margera.
Right.
As far as Jackass goes, behind the scenes, who knows how that was came about.
I saw
but
a documentary once, but it's been a long
time. It was those three that kind of came together, and then
and Spike Jones.
Obviously they needed a director for all this. They got a hold of Spike Jones, who was well known at that time for music videos. Beastie Boys was his bread and butter back then. But so that's kind of where we are in this is mid to late 90s. And Jackass is a show that debuted when 2000 on MTV.
Yep.
This was at least my first experience with what would be known now as a reality show. Like I knew that Road Rules and all that was already a thing. Real World, things like that were already on MTV, but I didn't watch that. I didn't care about it.
I saw some. But they were far older than I was at that point. I mean, 2000, I was a sophomore in high school.
Right.
So,
exactly. So for me, my first experience with Jackass was, going over to my friend's house. I didn't have cable at this point in my life, but my friends did. Yeah. And after school, we would go to a friend's house and smoke some pot, whatever, watch stupid shit. And this is how I found out about this, South Park, things like that. And Jackass was something that, like, it really immediately hit me on a level that was just, it hit me on this, like, ridiculous level. Like, what am I watching here? This is incredible. And why is no one else? Why are we now in the year 2000 just figuring this out? Right? Because it's simple.
Sure.
This is all simple concepts.
Yeah.
None of this you're not thinking too hard watching this show. Every stunt that they do, while it's incredibly dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Simplicity is key here. You don't want these things to get too complicated, because then you're getting into stunts. You're getting into the Daredevil territory where real math is involved. And
to this day, I promise you, they almost never did real math. You can tell.
No.
This is it as they go.
We came up with a concept, and less than 20 minutes later, we're filming it.
Yeah.
There's no real forethought, at least at this point.
Yes.
With the show.
Later on, there are huge set pieces.
Right. Once Jackass blew up and they started making movies and things like that, then they had to get stunt coordinators and things in to make sure that everyone was safe.
Yeah.
And even then, they really weren't, because these things are the stunts that they pull off in these shows, or the movies. All of these stunts are extremely dangerous.
Oh yeah.
And
obviously real. Like, it is brutally clear. There's no, like, Hollywood flim-flammery going on, like...
No, and that's the beauty of Jackass, too. Though. Because, coming from the background that I did, growing up, like, it wasn't even, like, an anarchy thing. It was just, like, an anti-government mentality that I had growing up as a teenager.
I think
most
of us did,
This really had an underground feel to it. It had this, like, this is special, and it hasn't been tainted by the powers that be.
Yes, that, but also it was as simple as the parents don't get it. So
my parents were never aware of this show.
Oh, my mom was, to this day. Well, she comes over every Saturday, and last week I was like, guess what we're doing? We're doing Jackass. And she was like, ugh. She just
my parents were never aware. My friends' parents knew, and they didn't get it.
No.
This was definitely like a moment in time. Like, we're millennials, but the guys in Jackass are mostly Gen X.
Yeah.
And so this was that common ground between Gen X and millennials.
Well, and they were slightly older, so they're automatically cooler, probably, like at that age. And they're doing things I don't want to do any of. Like, I never wanted to be one of them, but I will laugh my fucking ass off, like, to this day.
It never doesn't get a laugh.
Oh,
yeah, and
my God.
I've seen these clips many times. I've seen the show. I've seen the movies.
Oh yeah,
and it just doesn't get old.
I don't get
because
it doesn't matter how.
Because it's so visceral. It's so visceral. The reactions are so real. The emotions behind it, whether they're scared or they're having a good time.
Yes.
There's nothing fake about Jackass.
No, well, like right now we have like clips going as we're recording, just on mute. And as you're saying the fear, we're watching one called The Flaming Gauntlet, and it's Steve-O, and you're talking about the real fear. And there was real fear on his face, like, because fuck, I don't want to do this, but also I have to, but also I kind of do, but fuck. You know?
This is like when you get in a group of friends that are this closely knit.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to be the bitch.
No.
Because they're gonna fuck with you.
It'll be worse for you if you
Yes.
are, man.
You want to go ahead and get through this
And be
because
the
if you
hero
don't,
of the day.
if you don't want to go to sleep around these people.
Yeah, I think this is a strictly millennial thing, really. But there's something cathartic about watching it because they are all there under their own volition, okay? Now, sometimes some of them can be like, I don't want to do this, man, and the other ones will be like, come on, you know, and they do it. But I would tend to think that there's probably things we haven't seen where they literally were like, okay, yeah, actually no.
Oh, I'm sure there were plenty of
stunts were
times where
truncated, we're like,
they yell
nah.
cut and they're like, oh my God.
Okay.
We might have
Moving
taken
on,
it too
bad
far
idea.
this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, for anybody who isn't aware of what Jackass is all about.
Where the fuck have you been?
I don't know
How are you listening
how
to
or why
this
you're listening to this.
podcast?
Well, we're talking about things as, you know, from extreme stunts where they're dealing with like bulls,
Yeah, live
animal snakes,
alligators,
things like that, to
Yeah.
that level of danger. And then
Sometimes,
anything
yeah.
as silly as shooting fireworks out of your asshole.
Dude, okay,
So-
but
And by the way, just a disclaimer here, we're going to get gross with it. I don't know how
There's
you could
no
talk
way to
about
talk about
Jackass.
and to be fair, full disclosure, there are parts of Jackass that I can't watch.
Yes,
I can't.
there are some things that are like
There's
just too
specific
gross.
people, like if it's going to be a Dave England sketch, or stunt or whatever, I'm probably not.
There are stunts that Preston was involved in that
Yeah.
really got me kind of nauseous.
Yes, you never watch this while you're eating, obviously.
No,
Not if it's almost dinner time. Don't fucking watch this. You need to have already eaten and be strong. Be strong, because sometimes the noises are enough, and I'm like.
I guess we can go ahead and talk about the obvious thing here. And what is the biggest draw to Jackass, aside from just the lunacy of what you're witnessing, right?
Uh-huh.
I think that the entire backbone of this series rests on Johnny Knoxville.
100%.
Because Johnny Knoxville, to me, was always this person that he would have been a great game show host.
Oh yeah, no, yes.
Like the
Yes.
charisma, the charm, he is so
specifically said
charismatic
He is.
and
100%.
likable
Yes.
through all of this.
Yes.
None of this comes off as mean-spirited.
Not from
or-
him.
No.
I need to clarify, not from him. No.
It all comes from this place of absolute just
It's
glee.
almost childlike joy in both in watching his friends get fucked up.
Yes,
You know,
it comes
but
from this
it's an
childlike
innocent
sense of
place
glee
somehow.
mixed with this group of friends that are more tightly knit than most friend groups are,
Mhm.
and how comfortable they are with each other,
Yep.
and knowing each other's
You have to
limitations,
be.
and then exploiting that on a level
Yes.
that you're all comfortable with because you know these people so well.
100%.
Like, I had friends, not maybe to this extreme, but like my friends growing up, we were all pretty closely knit, and we would do shit like this to each other. We would pick on each other.
Yes.
We would, if you fell asleep at a party and everyone was drunk, you were gonna get fucked with. You were gonna wake up with fucking Sharpie drawings all over your face.
Yeah, it is more of a boy thing, I will say, because I had like two kind of groups of friends in like late junior high into high school. There was my boys and my girls. Very different. Very, very
Yeah.
fucking different. And I was equally comfortable in both groups because, like, you know, I could talk about makeup and boy bands and all of that with the girls and whatever. And then I could do some shit with the boys and then it'd be fun, you know? So yeah, I think it was more
My group was
fun.
everyone. Like we had so many different types of people, boys, girls.
Oh, sure. No, they interacted.
guys,
It's
lesbians,
Just
like,
if you fell asleep around the girls, no one's going to draw a dick on your face.
Right.
That's what I mean.
Well, at least in my group, like some of the girls you had to watch out for
Well, yeah, I was the girl you had to watch out for in our
because they had something to prove.
Well,
So-
no, it's just it's fucking funny.
Yeah, yes, it is. It's
funny.
something
I
that just
don't
transcends.
care.
It transcends gender or anything like that because it's a maturity thing.
Well, and you do it from I can't say from a place of love, but you only do it to people you love. right? Like you're
Right.
friends, like you're cool,
Yes.
you're tight.
And
There's
that's
an
why
unspoken okay.
I have gone on record many times, and it's like at least with me and my generation in general, like if we're making fun of you, we like you.
Yes, dude.
We
no.
would not go out of our way and waste our time
I
fucking
just
with
will
somebody
not
we
be
didn't care about.
bothered to even think of or speak about you if I don't like you.
Exactly.
That's just it.
Exactly. And that's kind of the way of bringing you into that group is fucking with you and how well you can tolerate it. And it's like, okay, you could be one of us.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So what was your first experience finding out about Jackass?
Watching it on MTV. I did have cable, and I had cable in my room by the time this was on. Not always, but by this point, yeah, I did. I mean, my TV was not a new TV even at the time. You know, it had the like, you know, change.
Very analog.
Yeah. But I watched MTV one fuck of a lot. Like pretty much if it was on MTV, I was watching it by that point.
Right.
And I had already liked things like Beavis and Butthead and whatnot that were on MTV prior to that.
Sure. Aeon Flux.
Sure.
The Max.
Yeah.
The whole oddities lined up. The Head.
Yeah.
All those weird shows that, you know, Adult Swim kind of ran with and became known for.
I mean, I was also watching TRL. I was watching The Real World and Road Rules sometimes. You know, it was the main, if I had to have one main channel I watched during this point in my life, it was probably MTV.
Right. And this was the era of Pimp My Ride and Cribs.
That was, a few years later, but yeah.
The Jackass came out right in the middle of all that.
So, and I mean, because again, I had a group of friends growing up, Steven, and Mark, and then me, the lone girl, right? And we were the ones that were out on our bikes, on our rollerblades going as far as we could. We did our own version of the Blair Witch Project on Steven's like fucking shitty camcorder because of course we did.
We all did that shit.
Yeah. So, but it was that kind of vibe and that kind of group. And there were people that we all fucked with each other. We made fake commercials and we recorded everything. It was that kind of vibe. And I truly don't remember if it's something I came across or that one of them was like, you have to see this. So yeah, I would watch it. If it was on, I was watching it from the beginning.
Yeah. And I mean, even at the turn of the century, I mean, television in general was still pretty tame. You know, you had Jerry Springer, of course. You had the talk shows were the ones that were really trying to cross the line more.
I think Survivor started around the same time, so the reality thing hadn't fully.
Right. Well, I'm just saying in TV in general, right?
Yeah.
Even sitcoms at this time were still like trying to appease the Southern
America,
Christian middle, that type of mentality. So to see something like this, and one of the things that made this just extra special to me, especially at the time, was the soundtrack. Because I grew up listening to a bunch of punk bands that just never were going to get played on the radio.
Right.
And then seeing these guys doing their weird shit, and the soundtrack is bands that I was actually listening to, songs I recognized.
You're like, holy shit, you know who this is?
Yes, it really, that was just that bump that I needed to just take this over the top. And it kind of touched me on a personal level that way.
I think I was just like fascinated in that way because like I would never do any of that. I never even did the shopping cart thing like my other friends did, but I was like, I'm also I'm not.
We definitely did the shopping
I'm sure
carts.
you did, but again, that goes more boy, right? Because like I was not actually
anything they did with the shopping carts or fireworks and things like that. We were doing.
But you know, we would fuck with each other, but not on and whatever. Yeah, it really was this, I can't believe I'm watching this type thing because I didn't grow up listening to punk music. I wasn't super involved in any underground scene by that point. I grew up a very sheltered middle to upper class life, right? And so this was like a peek into what the fuck is this?
Same as you. I mean,
my
I was a middle class suburban white boy. This was my rebellion.
Yes, 100%.
This punk music, things like skateboarding.
Sure.
Those were all the ways that the middle class white boy growing up did to rebel, basically.
Yeah. And I know from the very beginning, my mom was like, okay. So my mom tried her best to like find a middle ground. It's like when I wanted my belly button pierced back before the laws changed. She took me on my 16th birthday to get my belly button pierced because I really wanted it. But the caveat was I was never allowed to get my tongue pierced. Like that was her like way of
I
doing
had my
it.
tongue pierced.
Well, I never did. Steven did, and it got infected and was disgusting.
I went to jail and they took it out. And I just never got it re-pierced.
Okay. All right, bad boy. Never mind. It sounds so much more hardcore than it was, but sure. And so, you know, her thing with Jackass was like, if you want to watch it in your room, I don't care, not in the living room, and just promise me you'll never actually do any of this. Like, I don't want to have to worry about broken bones and stuff. And I was like, oh no, I have no plans to actually do this. I'm just going to laugh at all the dumb boys who do it because it's funny.
Yeah. And it was a way to experience something like this without actually having to do it. Which I think was an appeal to a lot of other people too. Like we all like it. You know, we talked about Idiocracy on another episode. Ow My Balls doesn't exist without Jackass.
Oh, for sure.
That was a direct parody of this show.
For sure.
We had so many copycat wannabes come out after this. You know, your Impractical Jokers, your Punked, that type of shit that just came out. And all of that was completely fucking lame in comparison.
I do think they also did directly contribute to the prank culture shit on YouTube. But again, it's like people who aren't professionals, which watch any fucking thing of Jackass. It starts out with these
There is a
professionals
difference.
don't fucking do this.
The difference here is this is a group that have all agreed on being pranked versus a group agreeing to prank people who are oblivious to what you're doing.
But they
There's
do
that is mean-spirited, whereas this is coming from a place of love and admiration.
But I will say most of the pranks they do involving the public are still on themselves and don't actually hurt anybody or really
right, and
anybody.
They do branch out and fuck with people in real life. But you know, at the end of it, they make things right.
Well,
like there's one in
they do.
particular I'm going to talk about that you know they made things right.
Yeah, well, clearly they did because these are things in the movies and whatnot, and for the most part, their faces are shown.
Yeah, the people that are in these skits that are being fucked with, you know, if they weren't cool with it, they would have blurred their faces out.
And
most
it never
of
would
them
have
aren't.
made the movie.
Right.
But, you know, I do need to address that and to say that there is a world of fucking difference between Johnny Knoxville and Johnny Somali. I'm just going to say that flat the fuck
I would say there's a
out.
big difference between Johnny Knoxville and Ashton Kutcher.
Well, I'm just saying the whole prank culture and then the streamers and then the going out and fucking with people, it could not be more different.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
So Johnny Knoxville, all hearts, much love. Johnny Knoxville.
Well, yeah, because at the end of the day,
Johnny Somali, have fun. And
Johnny Knoxville is one of those people, when he fucks with you, when he pranks you or whatever, you're going to hug it out. You're still going to leave liking the man.
Oh, sure.
Or Johnny Somali, you just want him in jail.
Yes, please.
You want him gone.
Free in prison forever. Goodbye. Fuck you, you fucking loser. Anyway.
But again, that's part of it because, like, look, I've mentioned on this podcast too that like everybody thinks that they could do something on YouTube or make a podcast, but you got to be charismatic, you got to be likable,
right?
You got to have ideas, and you got to do like.
It goes back to that fucking Grumps episode of Mickey Mousecapade when he's making fun of the wannabe AVGN guy, and he's like, "You have to have talent and charisma and like training.
That is important.
You can't just get on and do." And that's not
you can't just be an asshole and do this and have
like,
success.
Yes,
it's just
you
not
have
okay.
To have a combination of hard work, a little bit of luck, and fucking charisma.
Yeah. So I have far more experience with the movies as of late than I do the show.
Right.
The show was something in my teenage years while I was in high school that, you know, I watched. I have gone back and watched a compilation of some of those. Mm-hmm. I think the show itself, while at the time when it was airing on MTV, it really was pushing boundaries.
Every boundary possible, yeah.
But I think the movies really
100%.
ran with. The movies are where the bread and butter is.
Well, you can liken it to South Park. What they were able to do in the show versus bigger, longer, and uncut.
Because on TV, you had to keep it PG-13. In the movies, you could fucking do whatever you wanted.
I have seen more penis.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see this entire group of people naked at some point.
Oh, every part of it.
A lot of the things that they do involve their penises or their buttholes, their balls. Yeah. They're really obsessed with it. I think it's funny as hell.
I think it's fucking hilarious.
And again, I
don't care. It's funny.
It shows on another level how close these people are together. Like, yeah, this is a very, very close knit.
And when
group.
I say they, I mean the cameramen. I mean,
yes,
everybody
nobody
on set.
is off limits here.
No.
If you are part of the production,
You're in.
you are fair game.
Yep, and you better watch out because the razor's gonna come get you.
Right.
But don't go in the fucking porta potties. You know, like everyone understands.
Don't go to sleep.
Yeah.
So we can't really have an episode about Jackass without talking about the inevitable, right? It became so popular that there were spinoffs. You had your Viva La Bam, Wild Boys.
Yeah.
Which I watched. I think out of all of them, Wild Boys was my least favorite.
Oh, see, I like
Jackass was my most favorite.
Oh, sure.
And only because like Jackass is something that works well with this and CKY. How did I?
I was wondering when you were going to bring CKY up.
I think I enjoyed CKY on a level that was just irrational.
That is something that I had not heard about until I met you.
Yes, CKY
and then you were like,
was something
let me
special.
show you that was our Aladdin Jasmine moment. When it was into CKY.
We're gonna do an episode on CKY outside of Jackass. Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, all right then.
That's something that I definitely want to do an episode on. But right now we're going to focus on Jackass. But you can't really talk about it without talking about the Viva La Bam and the Wild Boys, only because Jackass for me, it's always going to be my favorite of those three entities, right? Yeah. And because with Viva La Bam and Wild Boys, they removed. First of all, it felt produced.
Oh, well, yeah, it was a very different vibe to him.
It felt produced for all that it may have been unscripted or anything like that. It still felt different. And the biggest difference is the fact that one key element of Jackass is missing.
What, Knoxville?
Johnny Knoxville. Yeah. They removed the game show element.
He's the boy.
They removed the charisma that brings you into this and makes it okay to watch people get hurt.
Well,
whereas with Viva La Bam and Wild Boys, you're kind of cringing. You feel bad for people. Like,
to be fair, I haven't seen Wild Boys in a long time. I liked it a lot at the time. I can't speak to it now because I didn't watch any like in preparation for this. But I will always like Chris Pontius and Steve-O worlds better than Bam Margera. So
yeah. You know. And I mean, Viva La Bam was an absolute reality show.
Yeah, well, yes,
that was like, how do we take Jackass and make it a reality show like a real world?
Well, it was like a leveled up CKY in some ways because he was already there fucking with Phil and April.
Right, and
CKY
in a lot of ways too, it was kind of like a fucked up Keeping Up with the Kardashians, that type of thing where it was
before that, but yeah,
this is just a celebrity's lifestyle.
Yeah.
Type show.
And I'm not a big fan of Bam Margera,
I don't really care for that. Viva La Bam was, as far as that type of genre, probably my favorite of those types of genres because there was an element to it that was funny.
Yeah.
And you didn't know what was going to happen next. It was unexpected. You knew he was going to be a little asshole to everyone around him, but like you kind of really felt bad for his parents in that because it was coming.
I do.
It felt a little mean-spirited, and I don't know how much of that was played up.
And that's what you were talking about. It wasn't mean-spirited, and I said, well, Knoxville wasn't. That's what I'm talking about. Because Bam Margera, I don't want to say too much because I don't have a lot of complimentary things to say.
Was
and he's
one of
been
those,
through a lot of shit, so I don't want to shit on him too
He
much.
was one of those characters on the show that could always dish it out but never take it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He liked fucking with everybody, but he didn't like being fucked with.
But in the way he Sorry, watching Johnny Knoxville in a pink sweater at the beginning of Roller Buffalo. And I'm like, that's the fucking difference.
That's what I'm talking about. This is a game show host right here.
I adore him. Okay. I'm not looking anymore. Go watch Roller Buffalo if you want to see what we're laughing at. But like, he came from a place of joy, and Bam's often felt much more vindictive, and it's less of a ha-ha and more of a hee type thing.
Well, and when it comes to something like this, when you're doing these dangerous stunts and you're being assholes to each other and things like that, you really need the Johnny Knoxville element of just seeing his face laughing and getting so much happiness.
Oh yeah. Over watching someone just get hit in the balls or something. It could be anything.
Yes, exactly. And that's kind of what was missing from the Viva La Bams and Wild Boys, in my opinion.
I'll agree with that, sure. But I'm glad they went and made their money. At least
sure. And
Pontius.
that it was always something that was going to be copycatted.
Sure.
There's no way that something this original that no one has seen before that was this shocking
Oh yeah.
wasn't going to spawn ripoffs. And it did in its own way. And then especially with, YouTube, even in its inception, YouTube had.
But those are all fucking losers trying to be professionals, and they're not.
Right.
So
And again, it's missing missing the element outside of being mean-spirited.
Well, because there's a lot to this group too. You've got Knoxville, who obviously is the ringleader and the main charisma, but I'd say Pontius is very charismatic as too. And you've got Steve-O, who went to clown college, like actual like training to be a clown.
Well, and Steve-O's involvement in the show came about because he just kept following them. And he forced his way into this group.
Like, I can tell I'm meant to be here.
Right. And he was. I mean, Steve-O's great. I've listened to his podcast. Like, he has
had a very interesting life. And it seems like he's in a good place now. And that makes me happy.
Yeah, because, he was the one on the show that just kind of really got into the drugs heavily and the drinking.
More so than anyone else.
I honestly thought that out of all of them, Steve-O was going to be the first to go.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to do something stupid one day and end up killing himself or dying in a stunt or something because
It's shocking that no one actually fucking died during it.
Yeah, Steve-O was by far the one taking things
he was
to
always
the
most
extreme.
stapling his balls to his leg.
Yes.
Just the first example. He's done so. If no one else is going to do it, get Steve-O.
Right.
And
unfortunately, we did have a casualty, not because of a stunt or anything like that. We have to talk about Ryan Dunn. Ryan Dunn, this is pretty much post Jackass because he had already done the show. He was already in all 3 movies.
June 20th, 2011.
Trying to do something different.
Sure.
He wound up being the host of a show called Proving Ground that was on G4.
Yes. I remember
which
that.
Wound up being very short-lived due to his death.
Yes.
But
I remember being excited because I loved him.
Right.
It's done.
So he wound up getting way too intoxicated one night, got behind the wheel of his car, wrapped his car around a tree, ended up killing him and his passenger.
Zachary Hartwell, who was a production assistant on Jackass #2.
Which I remember when I heard that news because they mentioned it on G4 because he had the show and everything.
Yep.
And they interrupted programming to mention that this is something that happened. And I it
made me very sad. I'm still sad over what happened to him.
Just like 9/11, I remember right where I was when I got the news that Ryan Dunn had passed away. Like it was on that level. I get what you're going for.
But yeah, I don't know. Cause I always enjoyed him. He seemed more,
He was everybody's big brother. He was the big brother on the show. Like he was the big brother you wanted because he was never the one taking the
kindness to him.
Yeah, and
I think
he was there for the ride, but like he was never the one taking things too far.
No,
he knew his limits and what he was willing to deal with. And while he didn't get out of there without scars and shit,
sure.
I mean, everybody had scars at some point.
Did.
But Johnny Knoxville and Ryan Dunn tended to be the ones. Well, not so much Knoxville, but they tended to be the ones that were just like.
I would say Dunn and Pontius were the more
restrained.
Yeah, or different types of things. Because Pontius had Party Boy, and obviously,
right. They all had their moments. They all had their inclusion in the show.
Yeah, sure.
That was.
Oh, they all got fucked up.
That was instrumental for this working. Because this couldn't just be people getting hurt. This had to be
there had to be different
comedy
levels.
Too.
Oh, sure.
This had to just be, Chris Pontius going out there and being Party Boy and ripping his clothes off in a Speedo dancing on people in Times Square.
I just need to mention, we went and we watched the movies again, like to prepare for this, just to refresh our memories. And you said I could pick that man's ass out of a lineup.
Yes, I could. I could absolutely pick his ass out of a lineup.
That's Pontius. Because it's distinctive and everywhere, all over Jackass.
And just the mortified really looks on bystanders' faces with him contrasted with this just big smile.
So happy.
He has the best smile.
The greatest smile.
Doing all these people are just having a fucking blast.
Yeah.
And for anybody out there who's feeling a little depressed, I recommend Jackass.
Oh,
this will turn you around real quick.
Yeah.
And just watching this, and there's something that's just like, it's it touches your heart.
Well, that's the thing.
In a
You
way
can
that
tell
is
these
just
people love each
unexpected.
other, you know. But yeah, there is, but I do think it taps into something visceral, like deep within our like primal self in a way.
Yes, this is peak humanity. It really is, because it's
For better or worse.
this is the Neanderthal brain coming up
Yes.
with ideas
This is
with a
pure
friendship
chaos.
execution.
It's pure chaos with a lot of different kinds of talent. And I don't care what anybody says. I will always love Jackass.
Yeah, and this is
Not all of it.
this was my first
But
experience
that
with
type of
like, what do they call that? The phenomenon when you feel like you're friends with somebody just through watching them.
Yeah, like Stan. I don't know what it's actually
Well, it's like
called.
people that develop,
That's the
they
point.
they feel like they have friendships with YouTubers and shit
Well,
like
that's
that.
what I
What
was
is
talking
that?
about. Stan, the Eminem song was about this guy named Stan who was obsessed with him, who was played by Devin Sawa, and that's where the term "stanning" came from.
Right.
But
There
it is
is
that type of thing. Yeah, like the Game Grumps. They've been in our house every day for over a decade.
right.
So yeah.
It's just a relationship that is one-sided.
Oh, sure, they don't know me.
And this is my first experience with that, because this was hanging out with a group of friends watching this show
100%.
that none of these people know who I am.
No, and I'm sure they're used to it by now. But you want to go up and be like, "Oh my God, this thing!" But that would be terrible. So
Right.
you just say hello.
This turning the
appreciate
show
your
on,
work.
tuning into this show was just like, it really was this feeling of checking in on your friends.
Sure.
And that was really the first time I experienced something like
the
that.
type of shit your friends in a lot of ways wished they had the budget or ability to do.
Or
but
the
when-
balls.
Well, yeah.
I mean, there were some things that they were doing that like none of us would even fathom. Like, first of all, where are we going to get a live bull?
Right.
Things like that.
It's a fantasy type thing. It's
very
a
much.
fantasy fulfillment type thing.
Yes. Yeah.
That you
absolutely.
live through these people.
It's a vicarious relationship.
Yes, thank you. Yes, it is.
You're living vicariously through these people
You
that you
hurt
just.
when they hurt to a point, depending on who it is. Because some of them, I'm like, yeah, fuck you. But
Yeah, and I mean, I just remember watching this as a teenager, at my friend's house, and there just were moments where we were both literally. You hear the term "rolling on the floor laughing"?
no.
This was that. We were
Dude,
literally
we
on the
were
floor.
watching the movies earlier this week. I was crying, laughing so hard.
Yes,
and none of this
still.
is new to me.
No,
But it is kind of revisiting an old friend type thing. You're like, oh my God.
yeah, and I mean, it is.
I'm in my 40s and I'm still laughing just as hard, if not harder, at this shit.
This is one of those things where you know me.
I do.
When it comes to franchises, movie franchises, things like that were real popular maybe in the late 80s into the 90s or something. And then 20, 30 years later, they decide to do another
You mean
one.
Jackass Forever?
And I just can't watch it because
Right.
I don't want to watch that exists in a moment in time.
Sure.
And I don't want to watch these actors playing these same weird characters
Forever
in their 50s and
later.
60s.
Sure,
I just
sure.
don't. Jackass, on the other hand. Johnny Knoxville is what, in his 50s now?
Yeah, probably.
Like, these guys are getting up there in age. These are Gen X guys. They're all in their
He's
late
got
40s,
gray
early
hair, like
50s.
silver hair now.
But it never gets old. I will still
I don't
watch them
care.
get hurt. I will still watch them get kicked in the balls and laugh.
Dude, no, yeah. When Jackass Forever came out in 2022, 20 years after 3D,
Right.
I was fucking there. Let's go. And there is some new blood, and some of it is and some of it is good. But obviously this is the type of thing that you have to bring younger people in at some point because
you
we
gotta
are old and
replace-
very hurting.
You got to replace the cast at some point if you want to keep it
But
going.
they're still all there. Well, most of them, not Bam, but I'm not going into that. And still doing parts. They still have skits. They're still doing things. But it is maybe let the younger ones so happy to like hurt themselves.
right.
Do some of this shit and we can just stand back and laugh. Which
Well, and there
Yeah.
has to be a lot of credit given here to Johnny Knoxville and Bam Margera because, for anybody who doesn't know, Bam Margera early, he was a skateboarder.
right.
That was his thing, but he was not a traditional skateboarder. His skateboarding style was more stunt based than it was actual technical.
He's always
ability.
had that look at me.
Right.
thing
He would
going on.
take it to another level where it was dangerous and it was more in the realm of stunts, which probably caught the attention of Johnny Knoxville and kind of created this whole idea of stunts being done in a way that was on this level.
Right. So is
And
he the
not-
reason that like people like Matt Hoffman and Tony Hawk and all of them?
I'm sure that there were
involved?
the friendships that they had and then developed along the way with Big Brother magazine and things like
Okay.
that, and just getting the attention of people like me. They were definitely getting the attention of skateboarders that were
Sure.
and wanting to be part of this group and wanting to be in there, because for all that, like, Tony Hawk was a big name in skateboarding. He had his own video game at this point. He still wanted to be in Jackass skits.
Oh, sure. He is in some.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it just had this appeal to it that, like,
But
people
he's
who
also
were
not getting like gored in the balls by a bull.
No,
or
no, no,
stuff
no.
like that. He's there
he
to
might
do
get on a skateboard and
skate-related
partake in
tricks and
certain
stuff.
things, but
that,
he
like,
was
loop-de-loop thing they built and
right. Tony Hawk was never going to be in the skits that were going to be dangerous like that.
No.
He had a career to think about.
He's worth too much.
A broken leg could end his career.
Oh, that's it. No.
Yeah. So obviously he wasn't going to take part in the more extreme
Sure.
skits, things like that. But just the fact that these people came out of nowhere and they started getting the attention of people in those spaces to be part of this, like, that's the draw of it.
Well, and that legitimized, I think, a lot of what
Yes,
they were doing.
that if
'Cause
you
these
were
were established big name people.
if you were in a skit with the Jackass crew, like, that was bragging rights.
Oh, for sure. It still is.
Yes.
Eric Andre is in Jackass Forever.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is a newer guy. And I mean, I assume you all know who Eric Andre is. If not, I don't know, look him up. But yeah, it still is. But then you have, okay. One of my favorite aspects to Jackass is how they insert the absolutely unexpected out of nowhere. I have a few different examples. It's little things that you and I have privately talked about. One of the little things that we love so much are the little details, like in the Toro. What is it? The Toro. It's the
the Toro Totter.
yeah. Thank you. The Toro Totter. They have little beanie propellers on.
Yeah.
In the Beehive limo one, they put marbles outside so they get looked up as they go.
Right. Yes.
But it's also
It's the small, like, it's also nuanced that it's
the
just
costuming. But I wanted to specifically bring up Rip Taylor, who at the end of the movies comes in, who was a well-known, actor back in the day, who was already quite elderly.
yes.
And I assume this is something where Johnny Knoxville just loved him and was like, you have to have a place in this. That's what that says to me.
He was one of those wacky comedian
he just
guys.
comes in
and he's like, I love
throwing
you,
the
come
little
in.
cones of confetti, and he's like, oh my god,
Yes.
in his silver jacket and whatever, and that's how you knew it ended. It's those weird little unexpected things that make it endearing, even if the point of the sketch is objectively terrible.
Well, and even like to the point with the Jackass movies, the intros to the movies were all these high budget,
fucking iconic. I don't care.
They were very high budget.
Yes.
Stunts that they were doing. Jackass #2 had a musical number.
I love it.
But they
big
still
Rogers and
managed.
Hammerstein,
Yes, but they still managed to inject the heart of Jackass in those segments.
People are still getting fucked up.
But and seeing these things in theaters, oh my god,
It was amazing.
Yeah, it really was,
It
especially
was.
with Jackass 3D.
Oh, that was one of the few. Which the previous episode, I think I talked
Because
about
that
how
came
I
out
couldn't
of
watch
nowhere.
3D movies. This one didn't bother me. The way they did 3D didn't make me. Other things they did make me, but not the 3D. Yeah, it was the opening for Jackass 3D is.
Because the
Next level.
Jackass #2, I think, came out in either 2003 or 4.
Uh-huh.
And then just out of nowhere, Jackass 3D came out, 2010?
Yeah.
There was a big hiatus there.
Well, I know that they said Forever, which is 4, was 20 years after they had done anything.
Which would have been 2020.
So 2022.
22? Okay.
They
yeah,
filmed
yes.
it in 2020. It came out in 2022.
Okay.
Because there was this little, hiccup that kind of interrupted filming and whatnot, and we don't
Right,
need to go
but
into what happened. In
There was
2020.
there was this hiatus there,
Yeah.
From the early 2000s to the late 2010s
Well, yeah, I think
that Jackass just kind of didn't exist.
no, they all went and did their own things. Knoxville did some movies, and Steve-O has a podcast, and he's been
Well,
on
they
here
were
on some
also
ones,
doing
I
Wild
think.
Boys and Viva La
Sure,
Band
sure.
during that.
But they all kind of
point.
went and did
Johnny
their own
Knoxville,
thing for
yeah,
a while.
he went out and did movies. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
The Ringer. We're not talking about The Ringer.
The Ringer. He was in A Dirty Shame.
He was in one of the
Men in Black 2.
Men in Black 2. Yes. I went and saw that.
There was another
in
movie
theaters.
he did. I'm going to have to look it up. I'll mention it. But where he played like a more serious role that was really good. And it was an IFC film or something that I'd seen years back. And
I don't
it was
know
very
that
good.
I
Like,
know that.
he is a decent actor in his own right, you know, for all that he did these corny goofball roles.
So?
There is that one film that he did where I was like, man, this is actually kind of touching and heartwarming, which really was too with The Ringer.
Yeah.
There were moments in that where I was just like,
don't look at the plot. Okay.
yeah.
Shush. It is a heartfelt
If you haven't
movie.
seen any like actual Hollywood films he's been in, go check him out, because like there is something to him that is just like we had mentioned, very charming and charismatic. And
I mean, all I will say is most of the girls I knew had enormous crushes on him.
oh, sure. Yeah, I mean there were
You know.
crushes all over the place
And I'll
with
just-
Johnny
I'll
Knoxville
just
and
leave it
Bam
there.
and
Yeah, well, a different type of girl like Bam.
yeah, I knew girls that liked Chris Pontius. Like they all had their
has that joy and that like kind of
Yes.
fun silly.
willing to do anything to make you laugh,
Sure.
going out of their way
He
to
seems
make
like
you
an
laugh.
actual nice guy, not on the Jackass sets.
But yes, and there were, I can see that. I had chick friends growing up that had huge crushes on these guys because
Yeah.
they were so out there,
They were
offbeat,
very
counterculture.
authentically whoever the fuck they were, and girls respond to that.
right? Yes, I'm just going to go through life any way I want.
Yes,
That type of shit.
Yep.
Just whatever.
that is a confidence.
Yes, you don't. It was the antithesis to the buttoned-up collar job,
Even
like
if
going
the-
to work every day, 9 to
Even
5,
if that
computer
confidence
job.
is you standing there in a bikini that's covered in bees.
Right. These
Yeah.
these guys fuck. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
So,
I love him.
again, Johnny Knoxville, he wound up getting his little Hollywood career, which was I love that for him.
No, genuinely, yes.
I never knew what his financial situation was. I'm sure he doesn't need money at this point, but it was
hope
nice to
not.
see him actually get into that thing that brought him to Hollywood in the first place
Yeah, sure.
to do.
He had his chance.
And it took this. it
But, dude,
it took
that's-
years of pain and
Okay.
sweat and tears.
This is the American dream. This
Yeah,
is what
yes.
it actually did. Is okay, I have this thing that I want to do. It's not happening for me. Okay, let me regroup. What else can I do? What can I do?
What
in the
are my
meantime?
strengths?
Right, exactly. Let me identify that. Make my own thing that's entirely unlike anything else. Oh, now you want me in your movies. Sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yes, like I said, celebrities were flocking to these guys to get noticed.
Mhm.
And it helped that they had that involvement with MTV because, like I said, this is Pimp My Ride, Cribs, things like that were in skate videos from the 90s. Those guys were coming
Sure.
into this. So it did have that counterculture feel to it that like was suddenly cool again.
Yeah.
Whereas before that, it seemed like Hollywood was kind of taking over and you kind of had to be involved in Hollywood to be famous or cool. And this kind of came in and said, fuck you, we're going to do this
Yes.
way. And then it started drawing that sense of counterculture underground mentality of
Mhm.
this is fucking cool.
Look, this makes us laugh. Maybe it'll make you laugh.
It sure as hell did.
Oh my God.
There's no way you can watch anything that they are doing and not laugh.
If you're of our generation. Again,
I would say otherwise. I would say
well,
that
our
even
kid who is now an adult also does like
younger generation,
Jackass.
Gen X, Gen Z,
I specifically meant-
Gen Z, millennials, Gen Alpha is going to see these at some point and get a chuckle out of this. Maybe our parents
I hope
wouldn't.
so.
I think that, our
I think
generation
I don't
was
know.
like the cutoff. So why don't we go ahead and do a top 5 of our favorite skits
or
that they've done.
sketches or stunts or whatever. Okay.
You and I came up with these on our own. We haven't conversed or
We
mentioned what
did.
they were. So I'm sure there
No.
might be some overlap.
There
And I hope
probably-
there is.
I
honestly.
hope so. But well, I don't know. Either way, we either get to talk about 10 awesome things or up to 5 awesome things if we happen to all have the same, and which we probably won't.
Right.
Okay, well, your
Ladies first.
podcast. Okay. I was going to say your podcast. You go first. I did.
Do like, let's do a top 5 where we count down from,
Number 5.
worst to best.
Well, and this isn't in any particular order. I have to say, at least mine isn't. I didn't rank.
Oh, I
them.
have mine listed in order from
Oh gosh, I don't.
least favorite to most
Okay,
favorite.
well, I'd have to take another 20 minutes to really dissect like my feelings about each one of these
fuck
because
it.
that's how it is. Number 5 is High Five
Okay.
from Jackass
Yes.
3D. It's the big hand.
This is so simple.
It is beautiful.
This is the
because-
simplest prank you could come up
well,
with.
and yes.
But why it works is because of the ridiculously oversized giant goddamn hand.
Yeah, I was going to say, do we want to describe what actually happens? So, yeah, in High Five, they have constructed this hand, and I mean, it is bigger than any person.
It's spring loaded.
It's this big slap. It's an open palm bomb that they trigger, and it's God, it's so good for several different, and they get different people in different ways. It's at the beginning of filming of Jackass 3D. So it's always funny watching the movies because they have to reacclimate into what this is and go, oh, that's right.
Well, they
here
constantly
now.
have to come up with setups that don't tip them off that this is a bit.
They don't do repeats very often because people are on the lookout.
Hyper aware.
Yes.
If any little thing is out of place, this is a bit, and I'm not.
So it literally is walking through a doorway, and this big hand comes and pop,
Right. The setup here is,
knocks him back.
hey, we're bringing food into the studio. Will you grab this soup and bring it in?
Fucking Aaron, Danger Aaron, who we haven't talked about at all, Aaron McGinney.
And while
Oh my God.
carrying a tray of soup, out of nowhere, you're going to get a giant spring-loaded hand that's hidden out of sight.
But it works because several other people went through that doorway with
Right,
trays of
yes.
soup and nothing happened.
Like I said, this is so simple.
Even still,
The difficulty here is the setup.
he's a fucking
Because
idiot
you're
for
trying to
falling
trick
for the
people that
soup.
are hyper aware of.
They're ready
they're
to
on
be
alert.
fucked with at a moment's notice.
Right. So, yeah, I agree. High Five is one of the simplest, best things that you can do with this show.
Shit in the theater.
It's never not
seeing it.
funny.
No.
And it is absolutely absurd.
They antique Bam with it, which is always good, which we haven't talked about antiquing at all.
Right.
But yeah, they get Danger Aaron real good with it. They get several people just as they come in. Oh, hey, ready for shoot. No, you're here, dude. So
Yep.
it's a great introduction to the crew to the filming of Jackass 3D, and it is fucking funny.
Yeah, I agree 100%. All right. So for me, number 5 is going to be Rent a Car Crash Derby.
Oh my God. That's a Knoxville one.
Because this is another one that is just so absurd because there's really two things going on in this skit. One is they're going to a rental car place. They're renting a car.
Yep.
The people renting the car to this guy are completely oblivious because day to day, their job is mundane.
Well,
Rent a car, get the car
this
back.
is also relatively early-ish, so like Knoxville wasn't as recognizable.
Right, so
by
he could go
most
places
people.
and not be
He didn't have to
recognized.
be Irving, like the old man at that point.
Right. So he would go in, rent a car, and then they take the car to a crash derby.
Yeah, they do a bunch of like alterations to it. They put
Right.
the roll bar on it, or no,
They put
don't.
blow up
They
dolls in the back seat for
shouldn't.
whatever
Yeah, they,
reason.
Like, spray paint a 3 on the side. They
Yes.
fuck it up. They kind of reinforce it a little bit, and then
They break the
derby
windows out of it. And then they put it in this crash derby where it's just a bunch of cars crashing into each other.
time. Yeah.
And then the actual bit is returning the car.
Yes. Knoxville, though, almost fucking died. They didn't do it right. They should have reinforced the windshield because the back tire almost comes through the fucking
Oh, yeah.
windshield.
He almost ate
in
shit
that
in this one.
Dude, but goddamn, how many times have these people almost died?
Right.
But,
so
yeah.
returning the car and the rental
And
car
also
crew
playing
just
it
being like,
straight as
well,
hell.
what is this? And he's like,
Yep.
it's the car that I rented. And they're like, well, you're going to have to pay for this. And he's
Well, I
like,
got in a wreck.
he's like, no, I'm not going to pay for all this. You guys are going to have to meet me halfway on this.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. You waived rights to insurance here. You're on the hook for this. He just goes and grabs the blow up dolls
And,
out of the
like,
back
runs
seat and
away.
runs away. But again, this is one of those skits where obviously they made things right because
Yeah.
the people involved all showed their faces.
Dude,
they signed off on this.
That's the difference. They're not actually just fucking shit up and actually
At the
leaving.
time, they didn't know what was going on.
No.
After the fact, I'm sure they paid for the car.
Sure,
They paid these
did.
people for their time and fucking with them.
And got their likeness rights, for
Right,
the
got them to
movie,
sign
and,
off on a
this is what it
waiver.
is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this type of setup only works if they're oblivious to what's going on. Therefore, they couldn't really have them sign things ahead of time. But no one was getting physically hurt.
The reactions had to be authentic. But no one's actually hurt because at the end of the day, this is just their fucking job. And yeah, it's like, what the fuck? What has happened?
It's so ridiculous that they never could have anticipated this happening.
And clearly they ended up fine with it at the end.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a good one. The next one on my list is just called Puppet Show.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is a Pontius thing. This is good. God, how do I talk about Chris Pontius? Is the majority of his contributions to Jackass usually involve his penis. But again, he has an innocence to him that Knoxville also has that he's so funny to me. Puppet Show, they dress his penis up like a mouse. And he has like little strings attached to it. So like a marionette, right?
Yes.
And so he sticks his penis, his little mouse penis. Well, not little. I'm sorry. That sounds rude. His mouse penis through the hole. And there is a live snake there. And they make the mouse dance. The
entire purpose of this is to get the snake to bite his dick. Which they succeed.
I don't know what it says about me, but oh my God, that one forever sticks in my mind.
And look, they didn't have to go the extra mile. This could have just been a penis and the snake would have bit it.
Oh, sure.
But they went the extra mile to dress it up like a mouse.
They are big into costuming. I touched on that very briefly earlier.
Yes.
They dress up like sailors.
It's
they dress
the flair.
Up like women.
You got to have the flair.
Yes, it is that showboating.
Yes, this is the showmanship
kind of vaudeville type
level
of shit.
to the bit.
I really enjoy it. This really is like the pinnacle of millennial culture in a lot of ways because it's got the over the top bullshit. It's got extreme sports. It's got this, like all of these different things that in the world we grew up in.
If you were just somebody who didn't fit in with the sports crowd, the preppy crowd, or you just kind of didn't fit in, you were too weird or too goth or too punk or whatever.
You had your own crew, obviously, but
this was for you.
Yeah, 100%.
All of those. If you were just a big nerd, you got something out of this. Because I mean, at the end of the day, these are just a bunch of nerds doing stunts, and
there's different types. Yeah, but and again, there's lots of different personalities within the group.
Right,
and stuff like that.
There was somebody that you were going to be drawn to, that you could identify with.
And then others that I'm just going to say it, you're happy, you are delighted when they are hurt. And that sounds terrible, but you're like it is this primal releasing of laughter at someone else's misery. And I'm sorry, guys, it's just human nature. I don't care.
Yeah. But you're not laughing at their misery really because they're involved in it. They're in on it. So it's okay to laugh at versus somebody. If I walked outside and saw somebody get hit by a car, that's a terrifying thing to witness. I would be
one of the people in their skits who were like running to help if Irving's like, or Spike Jonze is an old woman is like out of control rolling down the street, Yeah, obviously.
It's like when we were in France and we saw the elderly woman fall in the escalator.
Oh my God.
That was a terrifying moment.
No, yes.
Like you really want to help this person.
Obviously.
Laughing at them is the last thing on your mind.
No, it's not funny.
But I would laugh if I saw them doing it.
All of these guys are in on the joke. So anyways, that's Puppet Show. It's in Jackass number 2, the movie. And for whatever reason, the moment I saw it was just...
Yeah, it's very good. And again, this is another one that's so simple.
Yeah.
That you don't have to overthink it. You're just enjoying the ride.
But they do. They have already done the overthinking for you.
Right.
Dressing it up like a mouse and making this whole little set and then putting the snake in there. And the snake isn't hurt,
Right. And I feel like a lot of these skits too, they come up with the bones of it, right?
Yes.
It's like, what would be funny to us? Well, what if a snake bit your dick?
And then work
That's
back
hilarious.
from there and make it bigger.
Well, how do we make it funnier?
Bigger. Right.
Well, we dress your dick up in costume. And I
have seen.
Well, how can we take it funnier than that? Well, we make it a puppet.
So many things. I liked when it was Godzilla. That's like an honorable mention.
Yes.
But
it's never not funny.
It's not. I don't care. I will be 85 if I'm still here and laughing at that shit. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, number 4, off-road tattoo.
Oh my God, that's a Steve-O one.
Off-road tattoo is maybe one of the This is weird. One of the
Again,
weirdest. And
very
of course,
simple,
they did
very
it.
simple concept.
Yes, extremely
Fucked up
simple.
tattoo.
Okay, so they're getting in a dune buggy.
Yeah.
Steve-O with a tattoo artist. He's getting a tattoo on his arm
Yeah. Of just like
a happy face, a
Yeah.
smiley face,
Uh-huh.
while they're driving through desert dunes.
Yeah, but it has to be dunes set up for some
Yes,
major off-road.
the
because it's
road
like
is very set up. It's a bunch of humps.
Yeah, it's like an
in the
excite
ground.
bike level.
And the
or
tattoo
something.
artist is trying to give a tattoo while
back of the dune
he
buggy
can't
as
keep his
it's
hands sturdy.
Sure.
And, this is another one of those, like, going above and beyond. Like, everybody talks about, like, at their jobs going above and beyond. This is Steve-O going above and beyond for a
Yeah.
bit because this is a permanent.
Well, he has gone on
Result.
record saying something, and I'm paraphrasing because he has a ton of tattoos. He
Yes.
has a huge, rather famous picture of his own face on his back, giving like
He
the
will
whole
only
thumbs
get
up
them.
if it makes someone laugh.
Yes.
That is his reason for getting tattooed.
And-
Very
and-
different from mine, but I got a thumbs up to Steve-O. So yeah, so this again is something that is a permanent change in his body, but he was totally down for it from the beginning.
Yeah. And
There's
to
no
this day, he still has it.
coercion.
Like,
Of course he
that's
does.
something that he's just never going to forget.
The end result is absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it was way better than I was expecting.
Sure, you
when
can
I saw it for the first
almost
time.
tell it's a face of some kind.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
tell. But yeah, I just needed to throw that in there because it was just an example of going above and beyond.
Oh, sure. No, that's a good one. The next one on my list is department store boxing.
Okay, I have that one on mine.
Reason. Okay.
It's-
And it is, I bet you we both put it on there for the same reason. So do you want to set it up and let me say why I love it so much?
Okay, so the setup here, again, very simple. They took a boxer whose name is Butterbean,
Butterbean.
who is somebody you don't want to fuck with. This
He
guy,
seems like a nice guy, honestly. I don't know.
this
him a
guy
whole
is
lot,
a
like,
fucking menace in the boxing
in the
ring.
ring. But he seems like such a
And
jolly
not
dude
only-
outside of it.
Can this guy hit you? He is a damage sponge.
Well, yes, he's known for knocking people out
It is
faster than most.
extremely difficult to put this guy down because he just absorbs
Yeah, sure.
pain. He doesn't
He's a
feel
solid
pain.
guy.
He is very solid, very stocky. He's like a rhinoceros.
But at the same time, in the bits before the lead up to the actual boxing, he seems like a genuine sweetheart. I can't.
Yes.
If something else came out about Butterbean, leave me the fuck alone. I don't know.
Well,
But
and
he seems like a nice.
the
guy.
setup here is that he and Johnny Knoxville are going to go into a department store and box each other.
And they have like the setup is great because they've got the girls in the bikinis with the round one.
Yeah,
You know,
yes,
like all
again,
of those little
they
things.
put the showmanship flair on
Absolutely,
it, of course.
yes.
And I saw a little behind the scenes of the bit
Mm-hmm.
with Johnny Knoxville explaining. He's like, Butterbean is just such an easygoing, likable guy
He seems like
that
it.
it's really hard to get under his skin. So I told him, I was like, going into this, like, I need you to not hold back.
Yeah.
And he's like, I gotta hold back. He's like, I want you to not hold back.
Yeah.
He's like, if I don't hold back, you're gonna get hurt.
Well,
And he's like,
yeah.
don't hold back. He's like, I can't do it. So Johnny said something, and he's like, as soon as I said that, his whole demeanor changed.
No.
His eyes went
No.
soulless, and he was like, I am
Oh.
in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, we need to film now.
And as
because
soon
it's
as they
Knoxville's
roll
way to get this on
camera on this and say action, Butterbean laid into him,
he did.
and you could just see this. He was not having a good time, but at the same time, he had a job to do. He had a
Sure.
performance to put on here, even though he was like
Well, again, this
going
is
in and out of
something
consciousness.
Knoxville did to himself.
Right.
He poked the bear. So to
He
speak.
got hit,
But-
immediately saw stars, and he's still trying to make this bit work for an audience, for a crowd.
Yes, and the bit itself, the fight does not last for long. Johnny
No,
does
no,
not
it
have
doesn't.
a chance. Obviously, he knows that going in. But the entire reason why this is iconic to me is one line
The
spoken by
punchline
Johnny
on this is
Knoxville.
perfect.
And to this day, if I ever met him, I would love to know whether this was pre-planned and he just remembered to do it,
No.
or whether it was authentic.
It was not pre-planned.
Really?
No, he explained that in
So
the bit.
he gets knocked out. And by knocked out, I mean unconscious, knocked the fuck out. Medical people come in and all of that shit. Johnny Sweet baby, woozy as fuck. His first thing out of his mouth is Butterbean okay?
So the behind the scenes interview that he did on this,
oh my God.
he's like, I was in a lot of pain. I was trying to fight consciousness here because I was trying to come back to reality.
Right.
But he was aware enough that he knew it was still part of the bit. He still had to, he was still trying to entertain people. And he was like, I had to say something funny.
So it wasn't pre-planned, but he did come up with it on the spot.
Right. He's like, I had to say something funny. And the first thing that I could think of was, is Butterbean okay?
It's one of my favorite moments in media.
Right.
And it
but that still works within the cockiness persona of Johnny Knoxville.
Yes.
Is he all right? Did
I hurt
is he going to be okay?
And I think that really is the genius of Jackass and Johnny Knoxville in one little sentence, because he knew he had no fucking chance going.
Oh yeah, no,
he
not at all.
poked the bear to make sure he had no fucking chance.
Exactly.
And then he fucking stuck the landing, and it is amazing.
Yeah, that was a
that.
punchline if I've ever seen one. All right, so with me, my number 3 is Electric Avenue.
That's all the tasers down the hallway.
Yeah.
That's the prison break, right? Like they're dressed as prisoners. Yeah. Okay.
So they have this gauntlet set up in a hallway of tasers and cattle prods hanging.
And there's like a rotating, like
it's an obstacle course of tasers.
Tires on the floor.
And they're running through this thing, and there's no way they're not going to get hurt.
Oh, no.
There's just no way of avoiding it. You think obstacle course, and you think, okay, I have a chance of avoiding the obstacle and getting through this. No, there was no shot.
This is like Ninja Warrior on bath salts type shit. It's insane.
So just this one, again, is such a simple setup. None of these skits are complex at all.
It doesn't have to be.
But it's the looks on their faces while they're going through this, getting tased,
and then the other ones
and the laughter of the people that aren't getting tased. And that's Jackass in a nutshell, in my opinion, is the dichotomy of people getting hurt with the people who aren't. And it's pain versus pleasure.
Everyone has their chance to be hurt, and everyone has their chance to laugh at the people being hurt.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah.
You definitely want to be the person laughing behind the camera.
I do like the lore of there being a prison break. Like, that's what it is. Like, so they're all dressed up like little, black and white stripe with the little hat.
Again, it's the flair that they've added to it.
They can get out if they make it through.
Costuming plays a big role in these skits.
Yeah.
But Electric Avenue, I picked it because it was something that highlighted the dichotomy of pain and pleasure.
Sure.
Because that's what Jackass is watching this. For the audience at home, it's all pleasure. But for them...
Well, sometimes it's pain.
Yeah, exactly. And they balance it. God damn it. Okay.
I think Chad just looked up at the TV and saw Steve-O in a leopard Speedo going through a car wash on the hood of a car.
He is duct taped to the hood of a car going through a car wash.
To be fair, he was just like probed with the vacuum, so he's clean. Like they sucked all of the whatever off of him, so now he's going through the car wash. The ass.
We have it on mute, and you can still hear it.
Just laughing hysterically.
Anyways,
oh my God, I love
Electric Avenue is my number 3.
That's a great one.
If you watch any of the movies, you're going to see it.
I think it's in 3. Is that in 3?
Yes, I believe
2
it's
or
in
3?
Jackass 3.
All right, so the next one for me is going to be Jet Engine.
Jet Engine.
What commercial? Because this was, I assume it's set up at the very beginning like that commercial.
Okay, so back in the 80s, there was a commercial on television for audio cassettes, and the brand was Maxell.
Okay.
And it was just a guy in a chair, and he had sunglasses on, he had long hair.
Yeah.
And it was from side view. He would hit play with these Maxell tapes, and the sound would blow him back. Yeah. And that was the joke.
And I mean, clearly that's where, because it's the same type of chair. The lamp is there. It's the blank wall. And it starts out with Dunn, but a lot of other people get involved. He's got the wig on. But instead of, a TV and it being fake, they have a jet engine backed up. And yeah.
The setup here, is that they have a jet.
Yeah, they back a jet engine up and it starts with Dunn, but other people get involved. And this is one of the examples, I put it on here, of Jackass taking an initial idea and going, how far can we go? Okay, cool. Let's go further and further and further and further. And there's so many different things. So it starts out with Dunn in the chair, you know, kind of setting the scene from the commercial that, even though I didn't remember what fucking brand it was, anybody my age or anywhere around our age remembers that commercial.
Right. Yeah.
And then let's jackassify it. So, you know, like as soon as and he tries, man, Dunn gives his all. He, you know, he's like trying to run against it. He like jumps in the air and falls down, obviously. And then it turns into, you know,
let's throw shit at him.
Yeah. Let's dress someone up like a football player. Let's throw a football.
So
all right.
I have to believe that this entire skit was just meant to be like a transition between skits on the show or something.
Possibly.
Because
this was in one of the movies, I think.
Right. And it was just supposed to be like this little moment between scenes that they then, well, we already had the jet. How far can we take this? Again, so they start taking their shoes off and throwing it in the jet stream, and the shoes would launch into them. And then they started throwing other shit.
Yeah, I know. Danger Aaron at one point, Aaron McGeaney is like in a white, you know, jumpsuity thing, and they're throwing tomatoes and they're throwing different shit. You know,
which, by the way, the tomatoes didn't do shit. As soon as they hit the jet stream, they just explode.
Just for the funny factor,
right? And like I said, they were throwing their shoes and then other objects that they had on hand.
Yeah.
And then they decided that they were going to dress Chris Pontius up as a woman.
Oh, he goes on a date with Preston Lacey.
Yes, and they have a date with a picnic table.
And yeah, Pontius has a beautiful bow in his
hair. So again, they're making this theatrical. If anywhere that they could put theatrics in here, they're going to inject that into these bits.
And that really is what sets them apart. One of the many things that sets them apart from the absolutely stupid YouTube prankers back in the day and even still now.
Yeah.
Or streamers or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
This is theatricality, like you said.
Yes, this is stunt theatrics. That's all it is. I mean, this really does kind of take that idea. While I wouldn't consider, and I mean, they're professional stuntmen. They got paid to do this for a living. But I think that there's more of an art to the Hollywood side of things than there is this. Because while nobody wants to get hurt, the Hollywood side of this is sitting down, planning these things
it's
meticulously.
Much safer. There's different, yes.
There's all kinds of people on hand to come and, you know, emergency crews, things like this. Whereas
and wires and
this is more like
this is very raw.
Try not to get hurt.
Yeah. Good luck.
If you do, it's gonna hurt, but bones heal.
Oh, dude, no. The amount of surgeries these men have gone through, all of them, is
Stitches,
extensive and
broken
terrifying.
Bones. Tears and ligaments, concussions, you name it, they've gone through it.
Yeah.
And you know, while I consider this a more hardcore part of stunt work,
sure,
you know, it's not to mitigate what Hollywood's doing or anything. Those are very dangerous jobs as well.
Yes, they are, and sometimes people die, and it's nothing to make light of.
I think that the at least with the Jackass crew, there was this sense of fearlessness that like. There was a thrill-seeking element to it, right?
Sure.
You have to be a thrill seeker to do this type of shit. To jump out of a plane, to parachute, things like that.
Unless you're
just
dark
in general.
Jackass forever, because he did not like that.
I have no doubt in my mind that these guys were very aware I could die at any moment.
Well, I'm sure that was part of the thrill too.
And I'm just going to have fun as long as I can.
Sure.
And I'm going to do these outrageous stunts. I'm going to hang out with my friends. I might get hurt, but we're going to get a laugh out of it. Somebody's going to get a laugh out of it.
Yeah.
And hats off to them.
I will say,
creating something on this level.
I do like when they, in the middle, they've clearly been hurt or just irritated one, and like it snaps and it switches, and then they get furious and then run after whoever the fuck it is that just
I mean,
it's to them.
It's not all fun and games here. I mean, there's plenty of times where, you know, crew members had something done to them, and you can tell they
signed waivers too. Rick Cossack
you can tell that they are pissed.
In particular, are every bit a part of this as anyone else.
But you know, at the end of the day, Like you said, you signed up for this.
Yes, you did.
This is part of it.
I mean,
Walk
I guess
it
it
off.
would have to be forever that it was after COVID and they had their like COVID guy come and it was like the first day on set and they're all
Yes.
sitting around going over, okay, well, like medically, like for safety, what do we need to do? And, you know, it of course turns into a fucking prank and a stunt because you're back in Jackass, motherfuckers.
Yep.
Even though COVID happened, we are still here. And I like that vibe.
So in that particular bit, what they had done here was they were meeting with, like you said, their COVID guy, telling them how to stay safe.
This is not
on
part of
set.
the top 5.
No.
It's just an aside.
They were teaching them how to be safe,
Yes.
distance each other, whatever. It was mandated that they have a
And they were
this on
tested
the
every
set.
day and shit like that. Yeah.
But they decided that they were going to put an inflatable bouncy house
Yep.
under the table
In the middle.
that was activated by a pull
Yep.
string.
And it had to be like minute 37 or something into the meeting. Just a random
Right.
fucking. Everyone's
So
settled.
this
They think
this
is
instructor,
serious.
this COVID instructor, had no idea what the hell was going
No,
on.
He was fine though.
They pull the string and the thing inflates and
Yeah, and
scares the
everyone's
shit
like,
out of them.
oh, you know, yeah. It's a very good welcome back.
Yeah, yes.
Like everyone heads in the game. No one's nuts are safe. Never pee, never sleep.
Right. And again, it's a simple setup.
I just thought of another honorable mention. Okay, it's fine.
All right.
You should have 2 more.
Well, you took my number 2, which was department store
Oh
boxing.
God, never say that to me. I did not. Guys, listeners on record, I did not. I don't want it.
Number 1 for me. Jess,
Chad,
what's one of my biggest fears?
bees.
Bees.
You are not a bug boy.
I don't like bees. There's a backstory there.
I know. Okay, tell. I know, but they don't.
When I
Go
was in
for it.
elementary school,
4th grade, I believe.
I believe it was 4th grade,
Uh-huh.
it was field trip day. We were lining up to get on the bus to go on our field trip. And standing directly behind me was a kid in my class who had glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And a bee flew behind his glasses. And I guess it felt like it was kind of trapped there.
Well, I'm sure it did.
It couldn't
yeah.
get out.
Well, because you could see through it, but you can't get through it.
And it stung him in the eyeball.
Yeah.
The kid wound up losing his eye because of this.
Yes.
After going and
I
having
do believe
surgery.
It turned out he was allergic to bees. As well.
Yeah, highly allergic to bees. The kid was stung in the eyeball by this bee.
Mhm.
He lost his eye. And ever since then, I've had this irrational fear of bees.
I don't want to emasculate you in any way. I love you. You're a big, strong man, and I love you. I am the one that takes care of bees and bugs
Yes,
in this house.
I don't care. You are my
well,
beekeeper.
I wasn't going to go into what happens when something winged ends up in the house. But I will just say I capture them. I take them outside. I don't believe in killing anything that comes in the house unless it's like roaches or June bugs, which we don't have a roach problem. But June bugs are of the devil and get fucked because you brush them off and then cling and no, dead.
Right.
But yeah, I'm the
So-
one that helps them.
My number 1 is beehive limo.
I touched on
This
this
is
very briefly
this is
earlier.
my biggest fear.
I
Is
know.
being trapped in confined spaces with a lot of bees.
I know.
This is terrifying to me. So the setup here is that they've got, who was in this skit? It was
Oh, Dave England was there.
Right.
Steve, I want to say Steve-O. There were several people in the back of that limo.
Wee Man.
Knoxville was not.
Wee
yeah,
Man
Wee
was
Man
one
was
of
in
them.
there. We have barely talked about Wee Man, and I adore him.
yeah,
My
yeah,
honorable
he's
mention
great
I
too.
alluded to earlier, which I might bring up, involves Wee Man.
I have an honorable mention that is my favorite thing
Does
he
it have
did.
to do with the cooler?
It's one of them.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite bits of his.
Okay.
But no, this setup is that we're going to pull up in a limo, tell them that we're going to an event in a limo, get them in the back seat, lock the doors,
Yep.
open the sunroof, and throw beehives in there.
And put marbles on the ground
Yes.
in the one door.
But again,
later
that they're
on.
one-upping themselves, right? So during the bit, they found a way to one-up it by
Yeah.
putting marbles outside the door.
That's the
So when
genius.
we do unlock the doors and they inevitably get out, they're gonna slip on
And
marbles.
I'm saying that's what sets them apart from these other people who think they're fucking cool
Well,
and hardcore prankers.
Don't get me wrong.
It's something to be have a beehive put in a limo.
Yes,
Yes.
that alone was
Holy
a bit.
shit! But it's the marbles that fucking seal it, and make it iconic.
Throwing beehives in a limousine full of people who are unaware could have been it.
Oh,
That could have
sure.
been the end of the skit. It would have been hilarious.
Mhm.
But they went the extra mile. They put the marbles outside the door so that they fell on their ass when they got out.
As they try to escape.
And this bit, it just the reaction, I could not
person.
If I ever was a part of this crew, telling them I'm afraid of bees is something I would never have done.
No, I'm very glad you were never part of the Jackass crew. It's like how Bam, everyone knew he was afraid of snakes.
Right. You don't disclose your fears to these people because they will exploit it in ways that you couldn't even conceive.
Show no weakness, or you'll get thrown in a snake pit. And I don't want to talk about that one because I'm pretty sure some snakes were killed, and it's upsetting.
It's possible. It is.
And none of them were venomous. I looked at them. They're like corn snakes and shit, but whatever. Beehive Limo is a classic. I think it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it's to this day, it's one of those bits that like I just feel so bad for those involved because they had no idea it was coming.
Right.
And I really put myself in their shoes in that, and I was like, that would be the end of me. Like, you have no idea how many people's asses I would have been kicking after I got out of that fucking not even on my own volition.
No,
my brain would have went somewhere that wanted to murder someone.
That I am fully aware that if we were ever in that situation, and you and I have been married for a very long time and together for over 20 years, and no judgment, I would be left behind.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In this situation, and I don't really care about.
There's a lot of things in this world that I would, a lot of dangers in this world that I would run towards to protect you.
I would, yes, no. Well, I have my own set
Without
of
fear.
irrational fears. I say you have an irrational fear of bees that is stemmed from childhood trauma over what you went through.
Yes.
So I wouldn't even hold it against you. You know,
when it comes to bees, you're on your own. That's every man for himself.
And we would be just fine. Me and the bees will be happy, and I will gently take them outside and kiss them on their little noses and let them fly away. It's fine. So the other one I have mentioned, I do have a couple of honorable mention, but the other one I have written down is golf course air horn.
Yes.
And it's specific, and this speaks to. And yes, I'm in my 40s now. I am a settled, happily
This is still
married,
hilarious. I'm sorry, but it is.
Suburbanite white chick in Texas, but this shit is fucking funny. And it's still, I may be a super suburbanite. We live in a very nice house in an extremely nice neighborhood. We make good money. We do, all of those things. There will always be that part of me that loves seeing a particular type of person taken the fuck down.
Yes.
And the dickheads who are just playing golf. And I'm sorry, whatever.
Our corporate overlords that spend more time on the golf course than they do in real life.
I never wanted to be.
Right.
Right?
The pompous, pretentious fucking asshole who can't take a joke, especially at their own expense.
And it is literally their reaction that makes this shit for me. Because the fury, and it is immediate, and the
how dare you?
No, the violent anger.
These are people that have never been told no.
Get fucked, dude. Like, lighten up. It's okay. It's a fucking golf shot. You're not like, this isn't like,
you're not competing here.
No, this isn't the Masters. You're not gonna win the.
This is a Sunday to you.
This is a Saturday afternoon with your fucking friends. You've had some beers and you're playing fucking golf in your stupid little khakis and your fucking polo. And I don't give a shit about like.
Being way too inappropriate with the girls bringing the refreshments.
Whatever.
That type of shit. That type of asshole.
A little too real. But anyways, those are the fucking butts of the joke in this. And it's so simple. It's literally these guys just.
They're hiding. Okay. They're on a golf course. They're hiding in the wooded area right outside of tee off.
Yeah. Yes.
And they have an air horn.
Mm-hmm.
And right as they're about to take their swing.
Just real quick.
So it's distracting them. It's just pissing them off.
At that pivotal moment.
And by the way, as quickly as these guys get pissed off too, says a lot about them.
Yes, exactly. It's immediate.
Yeah, because if they had just laughed along with it, they would have went about their day. They wouldn't even made the movie.
It speaks to the type of wrapped up in their own ass they are.
This is one of those skits that they did that's let's see what happens, and if it's good enough, we'll throw it in.
Yeah, sure.
And their reaction could not have been more perfect because they get immediately pissed off.
They like start charging the guys. They like throw their clubs.
And by the way, none of these guys on the golf course had any idea who these people were, what they're capable
were
of.
just asshole kids, as far as
None
they
of these guys were going to kick their ass.
Oh, please.
That's what made this perfect for me, is that these were guys that were like, how dare you? And they're like you said, they're walking over to them, they're threatening them. And it's like anything you did to these guys.
Doing that in the fucking office. They're used to being big bitch.
You could beat the shit out of Johnny Knoxville with a golf club and he would laugh. He would be like that scene with Brad Pitt in Fight Club where he's just laughing and bleeding.
Yeah.
So fuck you.
Yeah. Well, and that is what really boils down a lot of this shit is, yeah, you know what? Fuck you.
But the best part of this whole skit for me, aside from them getting pissed off, obviously, is the very last thing when the guy decides to tee off at them. So he's launching golf balls into the woods, and Johnny Knoxville has like this gleeful laugh.
I love him.
Which is only pissing that guy off more because they're laughing.
That is what is so good, is my joy is making you more angry.
He thought by hitting a golf ball at them, they were going to run in fear, and they're just like taking it and laughing.
And they're just like,
yes.
So, I mean, I don't know, man. Again, I've said several times, part of my love of this makes me feel like I should be a terrible person.
None of these guys' faces were blurred out. So at the end of it all, they signed off on it. Sure did. All was good. They were probably compensated some way. And everyone had a good time, except for those guys in the moment.
But there is just something about these guys. Oh, sorry, on the thing we're watching, it's a Pontius like compilation or something at this point. So he was getting shaved and he's all whatever.
As soon as he shows up in that Adidas windbreaker and pants.
The thing. I never had the windbreaker, but I had the pants. Mine were black, but they had the big white stripes down the side and they were ripoff.
Oh God. He's right now, Chris Pontius is going to a CD store.
Like a radio shack
a radio store where they sell stereos.
He's about to, yeah.
Towing the I'm cutting all this out.
I'm sure. I don't care. I love it. It's harmless.
It's so harmless.
It's irritating, I'm sure, but he never touches anyone.
Anybody that's getting offended or pissed off by, like, for me personally, if somebody came up and did this, I would join in.
I would be like, oh no, absolutely.
This is like slice of fun pie.
I would just laugh. And I mean, I understand. There are parts in the first movie where they go to Japan, and I have opinions about that.
Mainly because of the culture surrounding
what has come
Japanese
since
heritage.
Then of other people seeing probably things like Jackass and deciding to make actual jackasses of themselves.
Right.
But Party Boy never hurt anybody. It's so simple and his stupid tennis shoes. Anyways. But yeah, so it really was the golf course air horn is very much a millennial fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, we don't fully know it yet, but you fucked the world for us and we're already angry just in advance.
Right.
So I love that. Do you have any honorable mentions?
Well, I mean, look, this is Jackass, so obviously a big honorable mention for me has to be kind of where the show came from, the shopping carts. Because that's just classic. That was everybody's first experience.
Steven and Mark did that shit in the Kroger parking lot.
Where you just get somebody in a golf cart, you push them into a curb, they fall out. Yeah. Where you just get somebody in a shopping cart, you push them into a curb, and they fall into a bush.
I saw it in real life.
But it was still dangerous.
I was never the one in that fucking shopping cart.
And this was the most, like, the thing that any of us could have gone out and done.
And did.
I did it.
I'm sure you did.
Me and my friends have done this. We have done this.
I mean, I know we did other things, like, rollerblading down Brown Trail in Arlington, which is where I grew up, which if you know the hill
right
off of Collins and Brown, it's very steep. They did the shopping cart thing. I went down it myself in rollerblades long ago and bikes and, stuff like that. But yeah, it was... But I will say, for the most part, we were smart enough to actually heed the warnings and not do.
Yeah.
We were more happy to just watch them than we were to do it ourselves, for the most part.
Things like Jackass, I mean, back when I was much younger and I was super into skateboarding, like, that really this type of thing was something that made me push myself a little further. You know, it's probably why I had to have knee surgery.
I was going to say, yeah. Chad,
Doing shit that I shouldn't have done. But because of this, I was like, you know what? This is bragging rights. If I get hurt, I get hurt. But, you know, I wound up having to get knee surgery because of it. And I don't regret it. You know,
Sure.
in the moment, it sucked.
Well, God, I mean, our generation, I knew several guys, specifically because I hung around with skater boys more often than not, that ended up with major surgery, screws in
It's
their
because we
legs.
fucked.
Okay. I didn't know you in high school at all. And I have said multiple times, not being recorded, probably on the podcast somewhere, that it's a good thing we didn't meet until we were slightly older. Would we have
Oh, you
fucked?
would not have liked me.
Yeah,
in high
absolutely.
school,
But that would have been it.
especially. As far as honorable mentions, I had to mention the shopping carts. There is one thing that I had completely forgotten about, and we rewatched the first 3 movies recently, that I forgot how funny it was, and it's the wee man altercation in the bar.
With his like supposed girlfriend or whatever.
Right. So wee man, he's a little person. And
I love Jason.
the setup here is that he's on a date with another little person, with a female little person.
Yeah.
And they're going to a bar. And they sit up at the bar, they order their drinks, and another little person walks in and starts yelling at wee man because that's his girlfriend.
Well, he confronts her and he's like, "What the fuck?
What is going on here? What are you?
Who is this?
Who is this?
I'm her fucking
What the fuck is
boyfriend,
going on?"
man.
So wee man's like, "Hey, man, hang on. What the hell's going on here?" So they get into a fist fight, and immediately you've got police officers who are also little people coming into the bar to arrest them.
Yes, and then the paramedics come.
And then
guess what?
And then the policemen start getting their asses kicked.
Yeah.
So the paramedics, who are also little people, come in. So it's these bar patrons are looking around like, what the fuck is going on here?
Because I need to stress again, no bar patron was touched, involved. None of it. They were strictly spectators to this.
Right. Yes.
What
They had
is
no
going
idea what's going
on?
on. And something like this today, of course, you're going to have those people up in arms about like, how dare you exploit little people like this? But,
Well, but they
at the time, it was just not like, yes, the fact that he was a little person and all of this involved little people was part of the joke.
Well, that was the joke, but at the same time, and I did want to say, Wee Man, Jason Acuna, was never treated any differently.
No, he wasn't
than
treated differently
anyone
just
else.
because he was a little
just
person.
One of the guys,
And he took
I
it just as
really
much as some of
liked
these
that.
other guys.
Yes,
He was in a
did.
lot of these bits.
Yes, he did.
He gave it just as much as he took it. I mean,
Yep.
he was all in on it. And this is one of those things where it's just like, you know, what are your strengths?
Right.
And, you know, he found his niche,
Right.
you know, as
because you had a friend,
a little person in entertainment.
You had a friend who was a
I
little
did.
person. I won't say what y'all called him.
Yeah, times were different.
Whatever. but he was a part of your friend group too.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that was really nice for him to, because again, Jason Acuna is every bit as much, and it is sometimes played for laughs, but he is always in on the joke. He always, at least seemingly, is very much for this and ready to play the prank, like see it through. Let's do the bit. Let's fucking do this. If he's dressing up as like a baby or something,
Right. And
for example.
Like Jess mentioned, like my friend group, you know, we had a little person named Sean. He was part of our friend group.
Right.
I loved the guy. Everybody thought he was great. You know, he had his own shit behind the scenes with his disability, and
He just happened to be a little person.
it mainly, especially at that point in our time, you know, we were like 15, 16 years old. So
So late 90s.
yeah, it kind of
Mid to late
revolved
90s,
around the
yeah.
fact that he wasn't really getting attention from females. It's unfortunate. It is what it is. He eventually got married and all that shit. He's
Good,
doing great.
good
But,
for him.
you know, at the time it was very depressing for him. And, you know,
Poor guy.
but as far as his inclusion in our friend group,
Right.
like
There was no difference.
we were all getting drunk. We were all getting stoned. We were all pulling pranks on each other and shit. And he
Sure.
was no exception. And, you know, that is just another way this connected with me and my friend group at the same time. And
I'm
for
sure.
him, it must have been great because, hey, this is something I can relate to.
Right, sure.
You know, and I think Wee Man's inclusion in this was phenomenal because watching him you just don't even, it's not even a thought in your fucking head.
You don't even really think about the fact unless they bring it to the forefront as this is the point of the sketch.
Yes, there are, like I said, there are skits like this one that I mentioned where kind of the joke is because it's little people coming in but it's again,
but I would say
the skit easily could have been guy gets cheated on, confronts the girl, the police come in, the guys beat the shit out of the police, but it added that extra element.
It did. Yes,
and it's not
everybody was in on the fucking joke.
But for me, it's
to me, it's the absurdity.
Yes, you're laughing at the absurdity.
Because what are the fucking
not the disability of it?
That every single one of what is going on?
But by the time the paramedics come in, you could tell like the whole demeanor in the bar changed. They're like, okay, this is a bit.
There was that one woman who at the end was like, yeah, I don't know. And then the cops came in and then the EMTs and they were all little.
Right.
But that is also playing people's preconceptions against themselves.
Right.
Which I think is fucking genius.
But I will even go as far as to say that even during the whole bar fight thing, people were legitimately freaked out and trying to help.
Oh, sure. Well, yes, that is something that you see in some of the like out in the world things over and over again. When things go wrong, you do have the Good Samaritan types who both of us already said earlier in this episode would have been it's not going to come to my mind, even growing up with Jackass and all of this, that this could be a sketch. Like, I'm going to help. If I see someone in danger or who seems to be in danger, if they look like an old person or a little person or just any fucking person, I'm going to do I'm going to pull over. I'm going to be the one to run to help. I'm going to try and defend you.
Yeah, maybe to my own detriment, but hey, so be it.
But that's not in my mind at the moment.
No.
It is how can I help this fellow member of humanity type thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my honorable mention for Wee Man, because we both have Wee Mans, is the bit in one of the movies. I don't remember which one. I'm so sorry, guys. Wherein what does this say about me as a person? He fills a super soaker with piss. And then
he came up with this all on his own.
Yes, he did.
This was just a filming day.
And again, this is something that could have been done with anybody. They just would have had to dig the hole deeper.
Yeah.
So he gets in a cooler that the ground has been like dug out underneath him. And there are other coolers in the place as well that do actually have drinks. So this is one of the more like behind the scenes type things.
This is one of those, let's film it. If it works, we'll include it.
Right. So he is down there and he's in the ground. So he's fully standing and he's got the super soaker. And as soon as someone opens the cooler to get a drink, he sprays them. But classic Jackass, it turns against him eventually because he does get several people. And I think it's done.
Yes, Ryan Dunn has had enough. Something happened to him that day that he was just done.
Which,
no pun intended. This was the straw.
But I talked about that earlier, that breaking point where suddenly they're like, enough, and that's equally as funny,
so
if not more.
Wee Man pops out, sprays him with piss. He punches him, grabs the super soaker, and just like soaks him in his own piss.
Yeah, Wee Man tries to get out of the fucking cooler and he loses the gun in the interim. And Ryan's like, opportunity. And
but the thing about this entire skit that really gets me is the fact that, like, you know, during the setup, Wee Man's just got his dick out, pissing in this super soaker.
Well, yeah.
And he's like, setting up the bit, right?
Sure.
And he's got this grin on his face, this just joyful grin.
Evil goblin thing that they all get.
Even when he sprays Ryan Dunn, and you could tell Ryan Dunn's not having a good time.
Dunn is done, yeah. Like
and it's revenge, and he gets it. even while he's just soaking him in his own piss, Wee Man is just so gleeful.
He's also trying to run away.
Because he knows, he's like, this was always a possibility. Like, I'm going to piss someone off.
That's what you fucking have to understand going into this.
Yes.
It is a free-for-all. And even if you set shit up, it can be turned against you.
Immediately.
And you have to be able to take it or you're a fucking bitch.
As soon as he pissed in the super soaker, he was willing to get sprayed by his own piss. Absolutely 100%.
I have seen these men go into rooms to produce sperm samples. And we learned.
Yeah.
What did we learn, Chad? Science class.
We learned that you actually can produce sperm without being aroused.
With a soft. Because
Which,
Knoxville
sure,
found
any guy
it.
knows that.
Well, I don't fucking know. As I started this out, like, I do, in fact, have a vagina.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of the day,
these things.
that we've mentioned our top 5.
Yeah.
We set up what the show is. In closing and retrospect here, like, this is just something that happened at a moment in time that people weren't really expecting or ready for. But as soon as it hit,
But that's what
we
made
were
us
all
so good.
in.
Yes.
And for me, at least, like, you know, I grew up on MTV music videos through the late 80s, early 90s. That was a staple at sleepovers with my friends.
Sure.
Even when I was being
later in the
babysat,
90s,
my sister
TRL was a big thing.
my sister was my babysitter. We would go to her friends' houses and stuff on nights when she had to watch me and I'd have to watch. It was always MTV.
Sure.
And music videos and things like that. MTV News, just that era of MTV that kind of went away after the 2000s.
Yeah.
And I think that Jackass was kind of like the last remnant of classic MTV for me, at least.
Yeah.
And this is definitely when
then it
MTV
kind of moved to Adult Swim in a way, kind of.
This is the last moment in time when
went to YouTube.
MTV got my attention.
Yeah.
Because after this, it was, you know, aside from Viva La Bam and Wild Boys, which I did watch because I had cable at that point, I didn't care for the Pimp My Rides and the Cribs and
It wasn't really
any of the
my
reality
thing.
shows that were coming on after that.
Apparently,
MTV,
a lot of that was faked as well. I'm saying now.
yeah, and that's what it is.
Allegedly.
MTV just became this haven for fake reality.
Yeah. And then it turned to like 16 and pregnant and all of that shit.
Yeah, just shit that was
I could
like
not have been less interested.
it became Jerry Springer. You know, let's be honest. And it just it went too far with the absurdity, and it all came off as try hard and fake, and I just didn't care anymore. So Jackass was kind of the like last remnants of classic MTV for me. It perfectly like put a cap on the 90s for me as far as MTV goes. Then you had the Jackass movies. I still remember.
If they came out with one today, I would go see it.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
theaters.
Yes.
And I don't go to theaters.
100%.
Really
I wouldn't
anymore.
think. What would the popcorn bucket be?
Nothing you want to put your hand into.
I think they would take it a step too far, like and just
100%.
actually put a fleshlight in the thing.
Oh no.
But no, I remember going with, I had a group of like 15 people to go see the first movie when it went to theaters because there was no way we were missing this.
No.
And I remember every single one of my friends going out that day. We took 3 different cars.
There were 12 of us.
We took up a whole row
Yep.
of people and we had a fucking blast.
Yep.
The theater was, everybody in the theater
It was
all in.
and like, oh my God.
There was nobody in that theater that was above the age of like 25.
No, sure. Well, you and I saw a couple, at least 3 and 4. Did we see 2? How long have I known you?
I think two came out in 2004, so it may have been slightly before we met. I saw it.
We met in 2004, but depending on when it came out.
Yeah, I definitely saw it in theaters. I don't think it was
saw
with
it
you.
in theaters, but I don't. Okay.
We saw 3 together, for sure.
Yes,
and
yes,
4.
yes. 100%. Yes.
But just there was something so magical about it. Was like going to see the South Park movie and just seeing this on the big screen, and something from television at that point in time you didn't see on the big screen.
Well, yes. And to be fair, we haven't talked about Dave England or Preston Lacey a lot in this episode. Preston, by the way, I just need to say, seems like a genuinely sweet guy. But even the segments in which I did not or could not watch it, it's still a part of the experience. It's still like visceral thing. But yeah, no, there is some gross out stuff. And yes, this is targeted specifically at millennial teenage boys when they were millennial teenage boys. Even though I think part of you and even part of me is a millennial teenage boy.
Well, and I say that I think mainly because, you know, at least this cast, they have included a female in the later
Jackass Forever.
Yeah, the later skits that they've done. But I think it's just because this was predominant, you know, the cast was all men. You know, they were boys. They were man children.
It really, yeah.
And that's probably why. But I was really kind of blown away by how many females really did get into this.
I love Jackass. Mandy loves Jackass.
Aside from what they're actually doing, and I 100% understand now as an adult, it's the crush factor.
Yes.
It's the crush factor. Of course it is.
Look, okay, I don't know how to go into this without going into too much detail, but there is something about someone who is so unequivocally themselves.
Yes.
That draws,
you know, don't get me wrong,
attention.
Some of these guys are genuinely attractive dudes. Like, you know, they're kind of muscular. They're doing weird shit. They're pretty looking men, you know. I get it.
You can say it. I'm not going to say anything.
But that's the factor that got the girls into that just helped.
Well, I will say it also, like, most of the girls that I hung around were also just like into that kind of culture overall.
Do not get me wrong. If this was a group of females, me and my friends would have been like, oh my God, these are the hottest women on earth.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because, and again, not so much the vomit and the poop stuff, but the brotherhood, the camaraderie, the everyone is open for anything at any time. And they give and they take with few exceptions as well. You know, either way, there is something attractive to that.
There's the daredevil bad boy aspect to it. The aspect of like, I am living 100% the way I want to, and I'm being successful at it. No. Because before this, I mean,
fuck what anybody else thinks. Fuck corporate America. Fuck all of this
people,
shit.
People our age and even younger, like the ideal, like attractive person was the buttoned up person with a stable job.
You mean before us?
Yes. With that's what I'm saying. Like our generation and even younger.
Right.
And then suddenly it became this thing where it's like, no, you don't have to do that.
No.
You can refuse to grow up and still be a millionaire.
Yep.
And make it work for you. And that's the other appeal of this is untraditional values and still being successful.
But still the camaraderie, still the friendship, still the brotherhood,
the humanity
of
it.
Love and the humanity.
Yes, this is humanity. Like I said, this is peak humanity.
Absolutely.
We have been on a slope ever since Jackass.
That being said, I don't think girls had crush on all of them.
Not all of them, no. There were, you know, I had friends growing up that definitely had a crush on Johnny Knoxville, Bam Margera, Ryan Dunn, and Chris Pontius were the main ones.
That makes sense to me.
And even Steve-O, but she was weird.
Kind of. Well, okay, but
and she turned out to be a lesbian, so...
But... who the fuck is lusting after Danger Aaron?
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. Ugh.
So yes, I get it. But it just goes to prove this had something for everyone.
It did seem
except
like
our parents
into a raw alternate reality of what could be.
It's Caveman Theatrics.
Ooh.
That is what I have always kind of visioned this show as Caveman Theatrics.
Yeah. Well, I had said it speaks to like the primal something.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If cavemen had video cameras, this is what they would have been doing.
And access to jet engines.
This entire, episode is because like I was on YouTube and just randomly got recommended a behind the scenes Jackass thing due to the algorithm. And I was like, oh my God, like Jackass would be so perfect for this.
I follow several of them on Instagram and have for years.
Yeah. And I was like, we have all the movies.
Yeah, we do.
We have this stuff at our disposal. Yep. Let's go revisit this again. Cause it's been like, what, like 8 years or so before we saw anything Jackass related.
We watched Jackass Forever when it was new in 2022, but prior to that, it was, I don't know.
To be fair, that feels like 8 years ago.
I would say like at this point, the ones who I follow on Instagram, I'm really glad to see where they are.
Yeah.
And, most of Knoxville's content, there are still some funny things that like he finds funny that he like reposts or whatever. But most of it is like stuff with his girlfriend and his dog. Like he's happy just being himself. And
well, I mean, that's mostly
like
what
that. I
social
love
media
that.
is anyway when it comes to celebrities,
Sure,
at least good ones. But, at the end of the day, it's just like, man, just I really can't understate when I say that this is peak humanity, because it's everything that is great about humanity mixed with things that are just not okay sometimes, or right?
Yeah. No, I see what you mean.
Just that feeling that it gives you, because this is the first instance in my life where I had that connection on a friendship level with something I was watching on a screen.
Where some people who objectively you don't fucking actually know, and they don't know you at all.
So there's magic in what they are doing.
Well, because they're opening their friend group and inviting you in.
Right.
And you're as much a part of the joke as anybody else.
Sure. And I don't have to get hurt to enjoy
a bonus, yes.
And it really is something that came at a point, nothing like this had been done.
No.
It was possibly
not at this
certainly
like kind
at the
of
time,
DIY level that eventually became more professional.
But certainly at this time, nothing was as funny as this.
Genuinely.
That was not scripted.
Dude, everybody I know at the time, guys, girls, whatever, we were all fucking laughing at this and being grossed out in equal measure.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And like I said, it resonated really well with the friend group that I had. A lot of us saw ourselves in what they were doing, what they were presenting to us. And, it just kind of solidified that not having fear about the future.
Sure. Just living in the
older
moment,
generations,
whatever that moment is.
By the time you were 30, if you didn't have a career, if you didn't have this or that, you kind of had this sense of hopelessness. And this gave weirdos like me and my friend group hope that, you can do something stupid and creative,
whatever,
and
it
still
is,
be
it's
successful.
Your own thing.
And that's very important, especially for our generation and even the newer ones that just kind of don't have all that much hope for the future because it's a little bleak. But
they find their own fun too, though.
But at the same time, there's just a quality to this that is just simple pleasure.
It is very much a time capsule of my high school years.
Yes.
Because, this started in 2000 and in 2002. I started high school August of 98 and graduated in 2002. Yeah. So, yeah.
And it also, because technology is not driving this series, it has this timeless quality. Any generation from now on, anytime, can find something fun or enjoyable or hilarious about this series because they're not glued to their cell phones or their tablets. It doesn't rely on special effects.
Yeah,
this is all practically done.
Yep.
It's all spur of the moment. Some cases, some of them are more planned than others. And let's film it, see what happens. If it's good, we'll air it. If not, fuck it. Who cares?
What makes it so great are the bits where they have an idea. It clearly doesn't work out like they're thinking. I can't remember the name of the bit, but it's where Ryan is trying to go over the ramp, over the river, and like land. It's the second time it happens.
He's trying to land in a pot of gold with Wee Man dressed like a leprechaun.
Okay, yes, because again, theatricality. But it wasn't done quite right, so they have to like make adjustments, and they try again and again and again until they get the shot they want. But they show you that process.
Yes.
And I like that. Like I said, it has that like kind of DIY
the trial and error
spirit
of it
to it.
Yes.
That speaks to,
speaking
I think, a lot
from
of
somebody who formerly, was skateboarding a lot, you're not good at anything until you do it a million times.
And you're gonna get hurt
You have to keep doing it over and over and over to get good at anything.
But I do want to bring up really quick by the end. This was also, at least in part, because I just saw a bit about Preston Lacey dressed up as King Kong. So I want to talk about them addressing their fears, just really brief, because he had a fear of heights that he had hid from them until he was instructed to dress like King Kong and stand on a porta potty with Wee Man as the girl, and he's supposed to save her
Yes.
while like remote control planes are flying at him. And you can see the fear as he like confronts his most basic
Yep. Yeah.
fuck me, but you get to see that, and he does it.
And the more they
he needs some Xanax in a day, but he does
with every
it.
take, he gets a little less afraid. And
No, I have a lot of fondness for Preston Lacey. A lot of the stuff he does, just by nature of what they have him do, tends to gross me out.
Yeah.
Like
yes.
the sweat suit thing.
Yeah.
Which we won't talk about. But what you see in the movie is him on the other side, slightly on Xanax, so he can like deal with this fucking phobia that he has.
Yeah.
And he confronts it and gets a great fucking bit. And so that's inspiring
And
to me.
just in closing here, I mean, the best thing that I can say about this series and the legacy of the series itself, in a nutshell, at least to me, is just like follow your fucking dreams.
Hell
man.
yeah.
No matter how absurd it is, there's an audience for it out there.
But you got to put in the work. And if you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough.
And yeah, it also, it helps to have the charisma, the charm.
Oh, sure.
You know, it helps to be
And
funny
luck and timing
and likable
and
and
all of those things,
watchable.
sure.
And this series does not exist if it's just people getting hurt.
No.
Because, and I can prove it because there are clone shows that came out after this that just failed miserably because it didn't have the comedy element of it or the charm
or the theatricality.
Yes,
or the
you
charisma,
have
or
to.
yeah,
this
sure.
has to be your calling.
Sure.
This is a group of people who found their calling, and you need to go out there and find
A
yours.
bunch of
Maybe it
fucking
isn't
weirdos.
this, but maybe it's making a podcast.
So make your
Maybe
own
it's
fucking thing,
making
whatever the hell it
a
is.
YouTube channel. Maybe it's just, I don't know, entertaining people and giving them something to look forward to without recording
Or
it. Who knows?
something quieter and going and volunteering in places
Exactly.
that need your help.
You know,
whatever
just
the
doing
fuck it
something.
is.
Find your niche. Find your
kindness, find
skill
humanity,
level.
find humor.
Go with it and just fuck your fear.
Fuck your fear.
All right. With that, we can call this an episode. Jess, where can people find you?
My name is Jess Moon. I am at JHL Moon on Instagram and Blue Sky. I do have an independent publishing house called Shadow Spark Publishing. You can find us on many different social media platforms. You can also find us at shadowsparkpub.com. If you like fiction, if you like any kind of fiction, fantasy, sci-fi, horror, romance, poetry, whatever it is, chances are we have something new coming out every month. We have well over 100 novels published at this point. We do anthologies every year. If you like something a little offbeat that maybe traditional publishing doesn't want to look at or talk about, but is equally valid and fucking awesome and compelling and wonderfully written by beautiful people, check us out.
Well said. You can find me. I'm on Instagram at Chad J. Moon. You can follow the podcast on Instagram at The Pretty Little Podcast. We've got the YouTube channel at youtube.com/at The Pretty Little Podcast 69420. Thanks to everybody listening to this. I hope you had as much fun as we did. I hope you like Jackass as much as we do. And if you don't know what it is, go check it out. It really is kind of this
It's amazing.
weird, what am I looking at?
It could only have existed then, but I'm glad it still exists now.
Yeah,
Chad.
I truly am glad that
I
this
love
series in some capacity is still moving forward
Yep.
because it is a
Something
sight to behold.
special, like genuinely. For
All right.
all the gross out, it's special. Love you guys.
Thanks again for listening. Bye.
Bye.